how the customers are becoming advocates for the companies and business, and they enable to boost the business. So this we are going to see on the customer managed relationship. So we're all set, and let's define CRM now. Okay, so like any other technology, right? So if you talk about technology, so it should have a robust processes, the out-of-the-box applications, modules, and all that actually. But one central theme around CRM is that it's always relationship, right? So that's where the CRM differentiates itself from the other application. So I believe a successful CRM is about competing in the relationship dimension, not as an alternative to having a competitive product or a reasonable price, but as a differentiator. If your competitors are doing the same thing as you are, product and price won't give you a long-term sustainable competitive advantage. But if you can get an edge based on how the customers feel about your company, it is much stickier, sustainable relationship over the long haul. Okay, so the entire thing about CRM is how to build the relationship with your customers. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. So we have a small look at the CRM evolution. So I understand a lot of enthusiastic freshers are there. So they want to understand what is the CRM, how it is different from the other technologies. So like any other application, so I want to just borrow the proverb from the one of the Chinese thing. It says something like this: the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So for CRM as well, the journey started 2 decades before. In 1990, it started as a small Salesforce automation solution, right? From there, the people started looking, yes, I have a Salesforce, but I want to do something more, right? Not just sales. So they said, okay, I need something on the marketing as well as service. So in 1997, so a couple of vendors, they came up with something innovative on the marketing and service as well. Now in 2000, they said, okay, I have something to do with sales, marketing, and service, but how effectively I would integrate with other channels, be it email, telephone, fax, because they are the touch points to your customers. So the vendors came with a few more additional facilities to integrate with these channels. And in 2005, they said, okay, you have a generic CRM, right? So I want something more. Because I'm in automotive industry, how can a generic CRM can fit into my industry? So the people started talking about having an industry flavor to the CRM. In 2007, okay, there is a CRM, there is a data, and I have a good number of customers. I want to have some intelligence out of it. So they said, okay, I need something on the analytics as well. So that came the analytics part. Now, in the era we are living here, 2011 and 2012, we get to see a customer-centric CRM. Here, everything is around customer, right? So we had technology, we have a lot of intelligence around it. Now, how do I use a customer as a medium and try to get most out of it? So that's the era we are living in. Okay, so you would have heard about the 360-degree customer view. Okay, so why it is important? Why should I get all the information about a customer, right? So a lot of times you get calls from the call centers and sales reps calling you, asking for more information. They try to really predict your behavior, your spend, and all this. So why they are doing it, right? So the more you understand your customer, right, the more effective you can perform a CRM, right? So in the CRM gamut, right, you have a sales, marketing, and service. Let's start with marketing. So you have a demand creation. So when you go for a demand creation, you need to understand who are your customers. To put it precisely, your prospects, right? So first you have to identify your prospect. When you do that, you will get only a limited information about your prospect. The second thing is that once you have the prospect information, you need to convert that prospect into a customer. That's where the lead generation and lead management comes in. So in that process, what happens, you will refine more customer information into your system. Now when you have an opportunity, right, how do you qualify an opportunity? Then you have to know more about whether the customer is really interested to buy your product or is just doing a window shopping to see what you have to offer, right? So a lot more due diligence goes into the opportunity management process. Then you have quoting. So when a customer expressed an interest to buy your product, you send a quote. then comes order management, contract service management. So the entire sphere of things, right, you have customer as a center. That's what I call it as a customer-centric CRM. And you get to see which are the companies which doesn't have a proper information about the customer, they tend to fail. Even though they may have a robust technology and process in place, but if they don't have a proper customer information, they may not be able to do an effective CRM. And industry vertical CRM solution platform is very, very important, because today a customer, right, an automotive needs are different, an automotive company needs are different, a consumer goods company needs are different. So the CRM itself should be flexible, and it should have a lot of industry components to collect the information. Take, for example, an automotive customer. When an automotive customer walks into a dealer, right, he has a specific interest. He wanted some brochure about the vehicle, and he wants to understand what is that the mileage you would get and all this. So when it goes to the product information, a very specific vehicle related information has to be presented. But when it goes to a consumer goods company, it is more of an FMCG culture there, right? So where you sell it to a retail unit. So retail unit, the point of sales rep becomes your customer. So there is a lot of flavor that comes in the industry vertical CRM. Okay, so looking at where we are now, actually, right? So I call it as a CRM state of affairs. So one interesting fact is that we are already 2 decades from the start as an SFA. Now we have matured as we have a lot more CRM in the place. But if you see an interesting statistics that has been given by Forrester, it says only 50% of the corporate population right now have implemented CRM. That means we have left with another 50% of the corporate business groups. They're yet to have a serious look at the CRM. So if you look at the first figure, right, it talks about enterprise and SMB. It is very important. In CRM itself, it differentiates between an enterprise group as well as an SMB business. What I call it as an enterprise is that a company with a revenue of more than $1 billion, or a company with a sales force of more than 1,000 to 5,000. But you have an SMB where the revenue could be less than $1 billion, or it may have a sales force less than 1,000 actually. So looking at the fact, right, there is a very interesting statistics that has been presented. Out of 100%, really 85% of the people, they really wanted to have a CRM in place. Only 15% of the population, they feel there is no need for a CRM. This is a very interesting statistic, because when I started my career in 2000, right, with the Citigroup, working as a civil CRM consultant, hardly very few people would recognize if you say something like, I am working on a CRM application and we do a lot of implementations. Because at that point of time, CRM was just a kind of a module. There was not a great importance that was given to a CRM application. Now, if you go and talk to any of the corporate groups, they understand the need for a CRM. So that's where a paradigm shift has come into the industry. And this statistics is coming from North America and Europe, and you see almost the same trend is there in Asia Pacific and Europe as well. And when it comes to implementing a CRM solution, right, this question was posted to a couple of CIOs for their what they think as a major challenge for implementing CRM. So they said the technology is the biggest challenge, then processes, people, and last comes the strategy. When they say technology, it is not just about the CRM. So for a CRM to work, it requires a lot more other factors. Say, for example, they should have a disciplined IT department. They should have a lot of infrastructure around it, and the ERP system should be compatible for the integration with CRM system. And second is a process. Do these companies have a separate sales, marketing, and service process in place? And then you have the people. Do you have the right frame of mind for the people to go for a CRM? It requires a lot of change management exercise. And then comes the strategy. Is this companies are really looking for CRM? What is the compelling need for them to go for a CRM? So these are the challenges that were listed by the CIOs. So I've used the traffic signals, green, orange, and red, just to say that actually it's a kind of a mixed response you get to see from the CEOs, but majority of the responses, it says there is a bright future ahead for CRM, right? And you would be surprised to see all these large vendors, take it Oracle or Microsoft or SAP or Salesforce, right? There is a lot of investment that have been made by the vendors on the CRM application. The prime reason is that they see that the next is the CRM, right? They're slowly coming out of the ERP era, right? Having said, ERP is still a very powerful application, and you would see 95% of the corporates, they have a very robust ERP application in place, right? But CRM is actually a kind of successor to the ERP, and it requires ERP and CRM to work very closely together to make an organization successful. Okay, so when it comes to when it comes to what the CIO thinks, that actually there is a lot of modules in CRM. What is my priority, right? So Forrester's done an interesting research there, and they classified this as criticality, reputation, and barriers. Okay, so the criticality means how important is this application is to my company. The second comes the reputation. When you say a reputation, how easy or flexible, or in the past, the history, how much of this implementations were successful? And the barriers, as I mentioned to you, do I have the right infrastructure, people, process, and technology in place to go for it? So if you see in the order, right, the business value, you see order management solution, customer service, support, and all this. These are all, the CIOs perceive this as a high value proposition for the investment. As you go down, you would get to see there are a lot of other applications like contract lifecycle management, field service, price, and code. Right now it's being perceived as a low value, right? But one thing is very clear. A lot of CEOs understand the CRM is very important, and they have made a budget to invest on a CRM implementation. Okay, so I call this a CRM Coliseum, right? Because right now you see every other vendor as one CRM another. Take for Oracle. Oracle has got, you have a Siebel CRM, you have a CRM on demand, you have a PeopleSoft CRM, you have a JD Edwards CRM. The same goes with Microsoft, right? Microsoft has made a very big investment on the dynamic software and all this, and right now they're coming with a mobility CRM. The same is the case with an Amdocs and other people. So there's so much of competition within these vendors, and it makes it really difficult for the IT leaders to choose the product, right? So there is no hard and fast rule to go with any vendors. The basic criteria they should understand is that what is actually fits to their ecosystem. Say for example, if I am running a SAP ERP, and a lot of my applications are based on SAP platform, right? So the natural choice is SAP. So when it comes to the Oracle, the same rule applies. But there are some functionalities. Say for example, if you have a mobility offering or a SaaS cloud CRM offering, right? Then you have to look at the vendors. Who is the best in the cloud, and how this application may give the value against the platform which I'm running. So these two criteria has to be taken care before they make a choice of the application. Okay, so this is a very interesting slide. So if you have asked me 10 years back, what you see as a CRM, I would have said is sales, service, marketing. So anybody knows about sales functions, marketing functions, and service function. That's what makes the CRM consultant, right? Today the situation is totally different, and you have a variety of applications to adopt and practice and specialize, right? So you have this sphere. One you have it in blue, and another is in red color, right? So I call the one in blue as an optimization scenarios, which are called low-hanging fruits. The reason is that, say for example, the 50% of the corporates already have they implemented Siebel or SAP or Microsoft. So what is a low-hanging fruit is there is that you go for an upgrade, or you do some kind of operational reporting, user interface simplification, office integration, and all this. So these are all low-hanging fruits, right? Which we have a lot of system integrators who can do this. And what differentiates, that is, if you already have a CRM and I have a compelling need for the business to move forward and do something different to attract customers, that's where you get to see the transformation scenarios, right? So this entire sphere we dissected into four topics. So one is, we call it as an optimization, process engineering, and management. So you take out optimization, you have upgrades, you have re-implementation, and you're looking at a business improvement. The second part of it, we talk about the master data management and business intelligence. So if you take, for example, a customer data hub, a product hub, and you have CRM analytics, sales analytics, consumer goods analytics, automotive analytics, and all this. So it's naturally a progression for any corporates who have implemented a CRM application to look at the extended application which will bring value to them. Take, for example, a master data management. How would a master data management would make a big difference here? One example I want to tell you based on our experience, right? So we implemented Siebel UCM, that is Siebel Universal Customer Master, for one of the banking major in Middle East actually. So the banking major had around something like 50 million customer records. But the real challenge for them is that out of the 50 million customer records, they had 8 million duplicate records, right? So going by the books, right? You have for a banking customer, you cannot have two different records for a same customer. It is going to throw a lot of challenges to the banks in terms of risk profiling. Say, for example, I would have defaulted in a credit card, but still I can go and apply for an auto loan or a home loan, right? So that's where they asked us to come and do the assessment, and we went to an assessment and we suggested to go for a Siebel Universal Customer Master because they already had a Siebel CRM in place. So with that, the successful implementation of Siebel UCM, we almost brought the redundancy or duplication of the records to few thousands. So this in turn triggered them to do a lot of risk profiling analysis, and non-performing assets have really come down and all this, and the bank was able to make a substantial revenue improvement over the years. So that's the advantage if you go for an extended application, if it brings value to your business. Similarly, then you look at, apart from the traditional business intelligence and master data management, you have all these new things like enterprise content management, mobility CRM, social CRM, self-service, customer partner portal. So today, a CRM consultant is not just has to know what he has to configure in sales, service, and marketing. He should also be knowing what is master data management. He should also understand how we can pull the analytics, and also to have a look on the mobility CRM, social CRM. So what it says by large is that you have a lot of opportunities to get into the CRM field, not just to restrict yourself to the core modules, right? So this way I see, for example, if you talk about a mobility application development, you need expertise on the HTML5, right? So for the HTML5, then you have the Java knowledge, right? So it's a perfect blend of bringing even the technology consultant into the CRM domain. Okay, so we successfully completed the first session, and we're going to look now into the customer experience.